So lockdown, eh? Remote learning, eh? That's the reality that has descended upon vast swathes of school leaders and schools across Australia right now. And I just wanted to record, I guess, a quick video to say that I see you, and I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I hope might be useful at this challenging time. Sometimes it can be useful, I guess, just to get the perspective of someone who has a slightly different perspective than you have from within your school. It can be a real challenge to kind of see what's possible when you've got so much sitting on your desk right now and so much that needs to be done for all of your stakeholders. When the first big inconvenience arrived way back in 2020, doesn't it feel like a long time ago? We wasted some time at real schools. Mainly because we didn't know what to do, and we spent a lot of time asking ourselves, what should we do? As a small education business, what do we do in this situation? And the reason we spun wheels and wasted time was because we were asking ourselves the wrong question. In fact, nobody in any schools was sitting around going, what are they going to do? But our partner schools and even our non-partner schools were kind of wondering, and I guess, in their busyness, we're even hoping that we would be a certain kind of partner, that we would be a certain kind of people at that point. And so after we'd wasted a little time, we sat down and went, well, instead of what are we going to do, why don't we just ask ourselves, who are we going to be? If there were three qualities as an organisation that we wanted to exude to the community, then what would they be? And our story was that we began by first saying that we needed to be useful. And so we looked to reach out to as many of our partner schools as we could. We launched a series of weekly shutdown brunch PL opportunities that both helped teachers and school leaders with the current realities as they kind of emerge. We built new content to help with the new unexpected things that they were dealing with, but we also delivered some content that we thought would just be useful for them when they get to the other side of all of this that we're still trying to get to the other side of. And we just created on behalf of them in a way because we wanted to just be seen as being useful at that time. The second thing that we needed to be was generous. And that meant that as a small education business, we were going to give all of that away. We weren't going to charge anyone for it. That's hard. I don't know if you can imagine, but being the lead or the owner of a small education business, deciding that you're not going to send an invoice is challenging. You're constantly sort of trying to keep your nose above the water, and it feels counterproductive to what you're trying to achieve. But it wasn't the time. It wasn't the time to be the sort of person that had, or to be the sort of organisation that had our hand out. So we needed to give people a hand up instead, and that meant not asking for any of their budget. And then the third thing that we decided to be, the third, I guess, character trait that we wanted to demonstrate when things got really tough here in Victoria was that we wanted to be advocates. Some of you will know I do a bit of commentary in the media, and I made a really clear decision that if I would be the person who would speak on behalf of our teachers and school leaders. If anyone was going to pick a fight or crack the shits with teachers or with schools or with principals, then they were picking a fight with me. And I was going to be seen and I was going to be loud in defence of those teachers because, I wanted to be the voice that said the things that you can't, because when it comes to being in that public arena, you've kind of got one hand tied behind your back. And what do you know? Things started to happen. People started to show us appreciation. People started to tell us that they got a different perspective on the challenge. People started to tell us that they were less anxious about the work they were doing in schools because of who we were while we were standing beside them. And I think that there's something in that for you. I think that one of the things that when crisis comes is we quickly, get ourselves in that mode of what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I do think that that's more likely to lead you towards wasting time and spinning the wheels. But if you can take a moment in this really challenging little period to go, who do my stakeholders need me to be? What would be your three qualities that as a personality, as a human being, that you need to put on show, that you need to exude, that you need to demonstrate at this time? And I think that what you'll do is an incredible service to your stakeholders, whether they be your parent community, your staff, or your students. If you can find the courage to record a brief video message to camera, or if you can grab your phone and record a little audio message that can be sent out by your school's app or text message system, or even if you can just write it down, a heartfelt message that's not about the operations of your school, but it's about who you intend to be while things are a bit difficult, then I think that you will help people get out of an emotional state that's not productive to them. I think that you'll assuage some of the negative feelings that they're having, and I think that you'll help them push some anxiety aside, which is often borne by the absence of a plan, by just not knowing what's going to happen next. And if they can just know who you're going to be while you're standing next to them through this period, then I think on the other side of this, you'll also get some reward for stepping into that. It's a bit ethereal, it's a bit out there, but the truth is it's kind of what people are looking for. I want to finish this message with a little bit of gratitude. Thank you for continuing to do this work, for continuing to adapt, for continuing to provide education, often in places where education is just everything, where it's so needed. Bridges and banks and highways and buildings is often referred to as nation building. I think that's bullshit. You're nation building because you're building young people and you're building a generation of young people that I wouldn't mind being in the company of. So thank you very much for stepping into that so determinedly. You're amazing. I see you and I wish you every luck. Finally, if you need a chat, whether you're a Real Schools partner or whether you're a school leader out there who's just finding some challenges, then I'm up for that. This determination we've had around being useful, generous, and advocates hasn't gone away. So just like coronavirus. So if you need a hand, then just reach out. I'm sure we can squeeze in 10 or 15 minutes to have a chat about your school and to get you pointed in that right direction. All the best. See you soon.